Hey everybody, welcome back to Undermine. So, this past weekend we had our monthly event, but alas, all of my commentary managed to get completely destroyed, as did all of the chatter from everybody on the server. So instead you get basically future me talking about what things that past me was present to witness. But anyways, the monthly event you can see here was marked by this mysterious cloud particle thing, which basically indicates that there is a being that has currently been trapped in spectator mode, is trying to make her way back from spectator mode, having been caught there in the midst of the sundering. Unfortunately, nothing quite ever goes to plan, so Gleeful, as we came to know her, is sort of in a few different places. So, like, basically imagine a transporter accident from Star Trek. Parts of Gleeful have been scattered around the server, and people have to go and find them and somehow recombobulate her in this one specific location. Now, I have some replay mod footage, because remember Cam was also present for here, so here we have also a shot of some of the different areas that the different parts started in. Now, some of these were easier to lure back than other places, but we'll see how that goes once we get into things. Now, the main thing to remember is that this was entirely operating on command blocks. This whole thing orchestrated by command blocks and summon commands. So it was doing pretty well, I would say. But anyway, let's get moving. Everyone diverged quite quickly, and they started immediately asking me for different kind of clues. The main ones that I gave were that, yes, all of the chickens that these things had to be riding, because weirdness with command blocks, more or less, were inside of the overworld, were within walking distance of spawn, and the majority of them are actually, like, on ground level, like 2 out of 4. But somehow that still made it a bit difficult, so people were running around trying to get leashes, and nobody initially thought to grab seeds. That's going to become important in a moment. But, you know, just sort of the things. And these command blocks, they look like they're working right now, but we'll find out later on that indeed there was a few bugs. Sort of by virtue of me building it on the server. Yeah. Honestly, one of the most, like, compact and functional command block circuits I've ever made, I think. But, what we soon find out is that basically nobody can hide and seek for toffee. So people are all running around trying to find these different parts. And initially, things don't go quite well. I think we have somewhere in the region of about 10 minutes here, and the particle clouds just disappeared because I'm out of range for it, before people actually start to think, okay, where might I have put these chickens? And if you can imagine herding cats, this is herding cats that are trying to herd kittens, so even worse. Oh. Do we get any clues? Asked Molly. Well, yeah, you did, and you got increasingly, like, less subtle clues, honestly. I think the one that got people thinking initially was, where might a priest's brain be? Where might a priest's heart truly lie? Where might someone, like, where might someone find some happy feet? But, geez, was that... I may have slightly overestimated or underestimated, like, the degree of subtlety to which my clues were crafted. So, things kind of took a while to get off the ground. Nonetheless, we are getting, I think, quite close to the discovery of the first set of, the first chicken and rider. The chickens and the riders, by the way, are just zombies with an invisibility potion effect and an enchanted piece of leather armor riding a chicken. You can do that in one summon command. It's not exactly easy to work it out, because not exactly, what's the phrase here? Succinct. Putting things into summon commands is kind of difficult, but we had one red herring go to the furnace, but we then had Clover here discover, indeed, that Gleeful's heart was located here in the temple, which is still kind of a little bit ruined. I think it's been a bit repaired since, but, you know, this was a bit before that happened. But, this particular chicken was by far the most ornery, because oh boy, this was the point where we figured out that we can't quite leash the chicken because of the zombie riding it, and if there was a passive mob that you could leash/lead that could wear human armor like that, it would make this a lot easier. But unfortunately, that was not quite the case. So I had to deal with chickens. But a little bit of quick motion there, unfortunately slightly in the wrong direction. It might have been faster for people if they just knocked out the block underneath it here. I think Hazard's going to turn up to try and give us a hand soon enough here. Where are we? Come on. Appearing in slightly dramatic fashion, as I recall. There we are. Okay. So, yeah. Because of the leading issues, it then becomes a matter of using seeds. And that's really problematic, because luring animals, as anyone on a server, or even single player can tell you, is far from the easiest thing, because they are very fickle with who they'll pay attention to. And I really think it probably would have been a lot easier, at least in the case of this particular chicken, to just dig the blocks out beneath it and let it fall. Would have probably saved quite a bit of time. But because Hazard and Molly here evidently weren't thinking to do that, they are just trying to lead it back around, back up towards the stairwell and towards the starting point of that minecart track you can see down there. And this, yeah, there's a lot of points like this where the chicken just basically refuses to cooperate. But they say never work with children or animals, and, you know, I could have made this a baby chick if I wanted to. But I think Hazard gets a little bit of luck here. I'm not quite sure how much damage Molly takes over the course of this evening, but oh boy, I feel like it was a lot. Okay, good little chicken. Up you go. No, up. Follow Hazard. Follow the strange fiery robot man. Oh, no, little bit. You're gonna have to go back and get it. Come on. There we go, come on. Here, chickie. Here, chickie. Okay. I have to say, following this particular chicken in the replay mod editor was a massive pain, because it was like 17 minutes worth of footage, and I had to keep sure that this particular chicken was online. You can make out the outline, more or less, of the zombie there, just because the replay mod can see invisible entities, much like a spectator can. Who? And here's Dreadlord, and I think Dreadlord's arrival might have been what messed up the chicken. Because they're both holding seeds. So the chicken doesn't quite know who to follow and decides, nobody. Screw you guys, I'm going back to my temple. It's mine, now I own it. I purchased it whilst you were all looking for other chickens. And this is just sort of the standard tactic of someone tries to lead a chicken, and the other person tries to push it wherever you want it to go. Alas, that's not exactly the most reliable means of manipulating livestock in Minecraft. You can see in the background there the slime elevator. Could have been an option, but the greater problem would have been getting it down the different levels, because the slime elevator is pretty much only designed to go up. Oh, but no, I think it's going to get pushed down the stairs fairly soonish, or maybe it might decide to actually follow Hazard. There we go. Now, I could have picked basically any animal, but I decided to go with the chickens because they're the smallest. And I guess I could have made them also invisible so that we just had floating armor pieces. But that would have made it a lot harder for people to actually, A, spot the armor, and B, actually, like, figure out how to lead it. And they do have their AI enabled, so they can wander around every now and then. I could have gone with, like, a cow, or a minecart, or a boat, or something. I could have gone with basically almost any entity imaginable. I wanted something passive so that it wasn't trying to maul people, and I wanted something that was reasonably obvious, because as many chickens as there are around spawn, not many of them look like this. But anyways, I believe we are getting to the point. Yep, there we are. So here we have the legs of Gleeful being followed around. And they are actually among the easiest ones. They were found inside of the theatre. But, you know, things still have a bit of, like, difficulty to go through. So, of course, there's a few slow moments, and the legs probably spend the longest amount of time doing nothing. So, to that end, we'll pop over to a different section here. Back. Oh no, it looks like they've gotten stuck against a wall. Yeah. Okay, well then how about, like, are they... Nope, they're still moving across. Still slowly. edging along the tree roots. Nope. Oh, looks like they're trying to decide to wedge it in so it doesn't at least wander off somewhere else. They could have broken, like, the wall there. No, okay, now Sakura's wolves are getting involved. This is probably not a good sign. There was quite a bit of lightning, actually, by the way. It was almost, like, poetic, given that we were dealing with someone coming from another dimension, essentially. Very strange. Another state of existence. Gleeful the Transcendent is her full name. But, yeah, this... Honestly, the legs get close enough to the finishing point the fastest out of all 4 pieces. But, there's a fair bit of dead air, and we can see people poking into the arena there just now. We'll hop back to them momentarily. Oh, looks like it's coming out of that corner. Good, because going around that side would probably have sucked. And honestly, the easiest way to get around would be to have gone completely away from the tree entirely, use the actual, the boardwalk on the sides. But, Pyrodance is leading it. Here we go. Here come the legs. And... now they're in the water. Now, the trouble with water and mounted mobs is that entities are hard-coded to dismount the moment that they think their mount is about to start trying to drown them. I learned this when I was trying to make squids do exactly that. So, unfortunately, if the mobs get flooded too much, the chicken will completely lose its zombie mount and become technically still functional, but still a bit weird. How are we doing back on that railing? Okay, looks like they've got it fully encased, but I don't know exactly how... oh, there it is. Okay. So now you have an opportune moment. You have a livestock animal on minecart tracks. Fairly straightforward, one would think. But, getting it into the actual minecart is a bit of a problem. I think Nin does manage to get this eventually. We should see it momentarily. Yep, there we go. So Nin manages to shove the chicken just down the tracks. But unfortunately, there's an opening right at that corner, and now the chicken is stuck in a corner once again. Animals, paving, ugh, such a massive pain to deal with. But if we hop over to the arena very soon, there we are. The arena, which is the helm of Gleeful's head, has been located by a Resender, and we can also see Clover popping in here too, Clover having abandoned the temple chicken, as it were. And this one was, again, one of the easier ones to get out, because this is right by spawn. It has, like, big roads built to it from spawn, but the trouble is getting it out of the actual arena fight pit. Because, as you can see, we use a piston mechanism and then a ladder, which makes it basically impossible for most mobs to escape here. So, eventually we start trying to build a stairwell, but that requires getting the chicken off of this platform area first, because you can't build on it, of course. And here's Kyo, just joining in, paper gravity in there. Oh boy, this could take us a while. But then this whole process took like a period of about 25-30 minutes overall. Wasn't by far the longest, the longest monthly event we've had on Undermine, but was certainly one of the more innovative and entertaining. And Kyo, be careful with that axe. Okay, so we're just trying to build a staircase. Interestingly, building it out of slabs, which is unusual when you're trying to transport mobs, because mobs historically have a big problem understanding how to pav on slabs. They tend to bug out and just jump and spin forever. But it looks like we might be on a winner. We just have to lure that chicken over again. Come on. Get over here. A little more. Yeah, I think... No, it's still wandering. Okay, whilst they wrangle this one, I think we'll, let's go see how the legs are doing. See what they're up to right now. Out there. They're still in the water. Well, great. So... Water makes things very slow and very hard to gauge, so it's incredibly hard to know if indeed this thing's following you. But Pyro's giving it their all. You can see a squid in the background there, just enjoying the rain. Yeah. Sakura's trying their best to help here, but I don't know if it's working. Collision is a bit of a spotty thing as well. You can use it in some cases, in other cases it doesn't work very well. Let's pop back to the arena, see if they've made any progress. Okay, looks like the zombie is on his way. Yep, he's heading towards the exit. Perfect. We just had to get through the pistons without it dying. although these mobs are completely immune, so they're totally invulnerable. They won't take any damage. Like, I believe there's a few points where people are just wailing on them in frustration. But luring them through this is actually probably a lot easier than luring them through doors and fence gates and the like, because there's nothing to get caught on. There's just empty blocks of air. But it does require that somebody be holding this door open, which is what Resender is doing in the background there. So let's see, we've got Clover, we've got Kyo, we've got Resender. Oh, look, come on. This is definitely going to take us a while. Oh, here it comes, here it comes. Okay, we're making progress. We are making progress. So, come on, follow Clover. Follow Clover. Follow Clover, you stupid chicken. Come on. You're off camera now, come on. Make progress for me. There we go, okay. Yes, no, yes, following Clover. Okay, and there's Rafe. Yay. Okay, so, as we're about to demonstrate, these mobs don't take any damage, which is important because who knows what the hell they were going to come up against in the course of this entire thing. So, here we have the chicken being lured quite well, and we could have gone to the left there. I feel that walkway to the left is probably the better option. I don't know if that leads directly up to spawn, but it probably would have been the shortest route. But here we have. So, ordinarily, this zombie would have been suffocating at a rather rapid pace, but because he's actually invulnerable, much like the chicken, he is just sort of chilling out, head in a block. You know, as you do. Sort of normal thing, I guess. But this is actually going to mean that this team is going to find a rather stunning realization. So Onyx under there is just trying to leash the chicken from underneath, taking advantage of the fact that it's in the water. And we'll see how he gets on with that very soon. Oh, yeah, looks like we have success. So the next problem is you're now stuck. So, Clover, can you help him out, please? Okay, here too. Good. Right. Hell, honestly, this part probably the smoothest of the chicken retrieval operations, I guess. But all of these were going on simultaneously, so we had people running around from different sides. And let's stop in and see how things are going with the first one. And, ooh, yeah, looks like the legs are starting to make it over. Yep, look, just the trouble that you have getting chickens through water. Oh boy. So, come on, let's see where this goes. No, I know you're getting close to this. Come on. Let's see what we can manage. We have nearly gotten 3 pieces there. Oh boy. Oh, so it looks like the legs are being dragged in the opposite direction now. By Clover. We may have skipped ahead in time slightly. Don't worry about it. Okay, so the legs are on the land. Hooray. The heart will soon be joining them, one would hope. I say one would hope. I'm talking about something I've already seen, so of course I know it joins the land. I know this whole thing goes off about more or less a hitch, so yay. Okay, we've got another pathway being built for the heart to try, for the heart to try and get its way on. And Nin has replicated the leashing technique using the water, so yeah, the zombie will burst into flame and sunlight. It's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. Just think of it as being like sparkly vampires, that's all. But sure enough, after a while, we managed to get our way. So that all 3 pieces are nicely sort of arranged at spawn. And it is around about this point that I realize, hang on, there's something not quite right with the command blocks. Namely, that these guys shouldn't be, like, still leashed. There should still be, like, stuff going on. So let's hop back to my first person, whilst I am surrounded by barrier beacons. There we go. So, yeah, that stone block is causing all of the trouble. So actually only the particles were actually ever working. Everything else, perfectly fine. So once I get this running again, there we go. So now all of the chickens that we've collected thus far are neatly arranged in spawn. And the 4th one, I'm just going to pop into Corvus's head momentarily here, because the 4th chicken, nobody knew where it was. And I had to be giving the most, like, detailed and thorough and least subtle clues of my entire, like, clue-giving career. We should be able to hear it. There we are. So Corvus was running around, had no idea what was going on. People had investigated the dragon pub before, but nobody could find it. Here's Nin just joining us to try and find it as well. And Corvus is just about to figure it out. Nearly got it. And bingo! Finally, the Gleeful feet have appeared. So this is where Nin is going to be trying a technique that they've been employing quite a bit throughout this whole event, but unfortunately with a degree of mishap. So as I mentioned, when mobs are submerged in water, they immediately dismount any entity that they are riding. Which is fine if you're a chicken, because it's very hard for you to have enough downward velocity to plunge that far into the water until you do that. Nin. GG. So at this point, this particular chicken is, aesthetically at least, ruined. It is still, strictly speaking, functional. But thankfully I did keep the different commands I'd used to spawn these guys in a little notepad file. So, off with the zombie, off with the feet. You can only kill invulnerable mobs if you are, in fact, in creative mode. And give me a command block, because these commands are really freaking long, and there's only so much that a text window will give you. Spawn it back in. Around about here should do. Just copy the command. Stick it in there. Oh boy, was it long. And then summon. So there we are, a fresh pair of Gleeful feet. And then I just have to set the wealth score to 1, which is what I was using to track the different chickens. And some musical accompaniment here as things go a bit yakety-sax. And Nin pleaded to me to leave that there for the moment, because they really, really wanted to, I don't know what. Exactly. I think some people from below might have been trying to leash it, but here we see ninjas going a bit ham on it. Yeah, we are seeing people trying to lure and lead it from underneath, but nobody quite managed it, so this chicken does start out, at least, being led by seeds. This might be the most this pub has been seen on camera. Unfortunately, this was like the setting for the start of the dragon fight event, but unfortunately I lost the footage for that. But we have managed to leash the chicken, which means it will be swiftly led out the front door of the pub, and home to victory. So, yep, there we go, the march that so many people. Oh boy, and a surprise appearance of a zombie. I don't quite know where that one came from, it just turned up. But I've never seen a chicken surrounded by this many people, eager to lead it somewhere. Okay, is it stuck against the wall? No, I think it's okay. Oh yeah, there we go. So, but with that, the final procession began. And with it, that meant we were able to skip ahead slightly to our replay camera to watch it approach its final destination as the final piece of Gleeful was reassembled. And with that, we get to see this lovely little effect I added at the end of things. So once that chicken gets close enough, there we go, and Gleeful herself appears in spawn. She will, of course, be moved to a more permanent location later, but for now she's just getting massively spammed by people wanting to check out what she trades. Gleeful's entire function is that she will enable people to enter and escape not creative mode, spectator mode, so they can fly around and do their own little camera things for videos. But on this day, she functions only as a villager with some very interesting trades. An immortal villager at that. And she was quickly led to some places, so before this gets weird, I shall say